Well, good Monday to you. Glad that we can spend a few moments together. Thank you for joining me for Devotions with Pastor Paul. Um, we are still looking for trunks and treats. We'd love to have many, 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 many more trunks. Love to see 20 or more trunks for the trunk or treat on October 31st. So if you've been kind of waiting, holding out, could you let us know that you're planning to come? We want to make it a great event for the community, and your kids are going to enjoy it and have a good time if you have kids. So we're asking you to be creative and join us. That's 4 to 6 on October 31st, and I'd love for you to get signed up and come and join us. And we need security. We need some folks to help us with the lines. We're going to need help handing out candy, sorting the candy on Thursday, the 29th at 6:30 here at the church. So lots of things to do. Prayer starts every second and fourth Sunday of the month. That begins next month in November. So we'd love for you to join us. That starts on the 8th of November. So a couple of things that are happening, going on here at the church, and we hope you'll jump in and be part of it. Listen, we also have our Matthew Bible study. That's always something you could jump into. That's on Wednesday evenings at 6:30, and you can go onto our website, and that has the link there that you can join on and go to meeting. Actually, if you're interested in person, I'm now doing that here at the church, and you could actually come, and while we'll be simulcasting, if you're interested in more of an in-person Bible study, you can join me Wednesday nights at 6:30 here at the church. And so those are some options, and those are some things that are happening. And whether you live in Brantford or Kaiser, West Virginia, or we have folks out in California and Danbury, Connecticut, and upstate New York, anyone who wants to join us is welcome to join us on Wednesday nights. Okay, I want to jump into this. I was going to wear a Philadelphia Eagles jersey this morning because we are in the great city of brotherly love, Philadelphia. Now, here's what I'm learning, that the reason it was called the city of brotherly love is because it was actually given in honor of Atlas II, because he was so loyal to his older brother, Jimenez, there we go, the second, the king of Lydia. So they were so closely connected that they actually named the city Brotherly Love, the city of brotherly love, for out of the love that these two brothers had for one another. Philadelphia is located about 105 miles east of Smyrna. It's about 25 miles southeast of Sardis. So these are interconnected cities, these 7 cities that we're looking at. They're all located in what is now Turkey. And this particular city, Philadelphia, it was a product of the fact that they had to have a highway that led into the interior of the region. So this city cropped up because they were traveling through this area. And eventually people began to settle, and eventually, as we know, this city came into existence. A couple of other things. There was another name, and it may come up in historical fact, for the city of Philadelphia, which was Decapolis, and that was because it was one of 10 cities of the plain, they called it. And again, these were just cities that were part of commerce and interconnected highways and roadways, especially during the Roman Empire, where everything was the world had become smaller, and Rome was controlling more of it and was more connected than it had ever been. One last little piece of historical fact about this city is that it was also referred to as Little Athens. And that was because of the grandeur of the temples that existed in Philadelphia. As I was doing my background on this, I found that there are still to this day some of the ruins of some of the temples that were in existence these many, many years ago. So, let me read to you Revelation chapter 3, verses 7 through 13. And today's going to finish our look at the seven churches of Revelation because we already preached on Sunday before 2 Sundays ago for us now. We preached on the book of Laodicea. So Philadelphia is going to finish this study that we've been looking into. I hope you're enjoying it. I don't get a lot of emails or comments about them. I hear every so often someone will say, "Oh man, I've been watching your," and I didn't even know they were watching it. If you're enjoying it, help me out. Not that my ego needs it. I just like to know that there's people that are getting something out of it. So if you are, shoot me a little note and say, "Hey, Pastor, been listening to these. They've been good," or you know what, they stink. Can you find someone better to do them? But I'd love to know if these have been these last 6, and with our sermon 2 Sundays ago, if they've been good for you. But anyways, here we go. Verse 7, write this letter to the angel, to the messenger, to the pastor, to the leader of the church of Philadelphia. This is the message from the one who is holy and true, the one who has the key of David. Now listen, what Christ is saying here is, this is a fulfillment of Luke chapter 1, verse 32, and that he would receive the key of David, that he would be the fulfillment of the throne of David. It was prophesied to David that someone would sit on his throne forever. Well, we know there's not a king in Jerusalem anymore. We know there's not and so the Messiah would come through the line and the lineage of David. And part of this was that Christ had the authority that came with the throne of David. That he was, what he's saying is I am the fulfillment of this prophecy here. He's declaring this. So this message comes from the one who is holy, true, the one who has the key of David. Listen, what he opens, no one can close. And what he closes, no one can open. Again, this is pointing to Christ's authority. He says, listen, if I close it, it's done. And if I open it, no one can close it. Not even the gates of hell, not Satan, not mankind, not philosophy, not, unbelief. If I open it, it opens. That's going to be very important here for the church of Philadelphia. Verse 8 says, I know the things you do, and I have opened a door for you that no one can close. Wow. Jesus says, listen, on my authority, the doors that I open, no one can close. You have little strength, yet you obeyed my word and did not deny me. Look, I will force those who belong to Satan's synagogue, those liars who say they are Jews but are not, to come and bow at your feet. They will acknowledge that you are the ones I love. Because you have obeyed my command to persevere, I will protect you from the great time of testing that will come upon the whole world to test those who belong to this world. I'm coming soon. Hold on to what you have so that no one will take away your crown. Now look, no one could take away their crown. He's saying, you just hold on because no one can take it. Don't you forfeit it by giving up. All who are victorious will become pillars in the temple of my God, and they will never have to leave it. And I will write on them the name of my God, and they will be citizens in the city of my God, the new Jerusalem that comes down from heaven from my God, and I will also write on them my new name. Verse 13, anyone who has ears must hear, or anyone who has ears to hear must listen to the Spirit and understand what he is saying to the churches. Now, Some of this, it was not just for the church in Philadelphia, and I'll get to that in just a moment. So let's talk about these Jews that claim to be Jews but were not. What he's really probably saying here, we're not completely clear, but more than likely, what he was really talking to, he had talked about the same thing with the church of Smyrna, that there were those that were imposters. They were trying to constantly, what was happening was that there were folks in this time period that were constantly trying to make, that were trying to force upon Christians the old Jewish customs. And there may have been those that were not Jews but had started to subscribe to things like circumcision and holy days and so on and so forth, which in and of themselves weren't wrong, but they weren't supposed to be forced on the church. And however, even more than that, if they weren't Jews, why are you doing that? That's a possibility. It may also be a reference to the fact that there are those that are claiming to be in the faith. They're claiming to be Christians, but like the church of Laodicea, they are not really following the commands of Christ. They haven't made a profession of faith. They're doing all these religious things, but they're not holding to true faith. They're false. And the point that he's making here to the church of Philadelphia is that he loves the church of Philadelphia. You notice there's no buts here. You've done, but I have this against you. This is what's really unique about the church of Philadelphia. There's no buts. It's only encouragement. And what he's saying is, I love what you guys are doing. I know you're hanging on by a thread. Keep hanging on. Keep holding, because I've opened doors of blessing for you. I've opened doors of evangelism for you. I've opened doors of growth and prosperity for you as a church. I've opened my protection for you. And what I open for you, no one can close. And so you've got to hang firm. You've got to hold true to the word. You've got to stick together. You may not be the biggest church. You may not be the most powerful, the most recognizable, of the churches. But you know what? You're faithful, and I commend you for that. That's what I want more than anything else. That's what I desire more than anything else. It's not flashy. It's not that everyone's flocking to you. It's that you are faithful. And Jesus says, hang in there. Stand firm. As a matter of fact, at the very end, he says, hold fast. Hold fast because there is a reward. I have a crown, an eternal crown for you. Don't give in. Don't give up. Hold fast. You don't have to be flashy. You don't have to be fancy. You don't have to be the most recognizable. But you know what? Your faithfulness is being noticed. So the message for us today is this, that we just need to be faithful. You go, Pastor, I'm tired. My faith is just hanging on. Of all the churches, Jesus picks Philadelphia to commend. I could say more about Philadelphia, but wrong Philadelphia, right? He commends them, not because of their big evangelistic outreaches, not because, they were willing to die. He just commends their faithfulness. Well done, my good and faithful servant. Can I just commend you, even if you're hanging on by a thread, even if it just feels like, you're tired and you're wore out and your faith is just barely there. Hang in. Hang in. You don't know what doors he's opening for you. Say, well, my marriage is a mess right now. Hang in. You don't know what doors he's opening for you. Say, well, my job, I'm working from home and it feels like, just hang in there. You don't know what doors he's opening for you. You say, man, I miss being at church. I'm home. I miss seeing everybody. I miss being together with everybody. Hang in. Hang in. God's got you. You just say, my prayer life is I just don't feel like, anyone's listening. I don't feel like anyone cares. Just hang in there. Just hang in there. Stay faithful. What do you say at the very beginning of each of these letters? I see you. I see you. I'm watching. Church, we got to hang in there. We've got all we've ever been called to do. The number one thing we've called to do is what? Be faithful. Be faithful. So I want to encourage your faith today. I want to encourage your faithfulness today. Hold fast, because those who do, for them is laid up a crown of life. And nothing can take that from you. And nothing short of your salvation will be more important in the long run. Let me pray for you. Lord Jesus, I pray for those that are discouraged, those that maybe life has just dealt them a blow recently. Their job, maybe they've lost their job or just it's tedious and being home is hard. Or maybe they have to go in. They'd rather stay home. Maybe they're home and they've got the kids. Some days the kids are able to go to school. Some days they're home and they just want normalcy. They want to get back to a regular life. They want their kids to be able to, be out and doing the things that they normally do. God, maybe in the midst of all this, they're just discouraged. They look around, they go, God, how can you allow this to happen? And God, how can everything just seem so out of place and we don't see the bigger picture yet? God, I pray that you encourage their faith. That we'd just be able to say, you know what? We trust you. Help us to hold fast, I pray. As we start this week, Lord, I pray that you encourage every heart, every life, and that we would press in, because you're faithful. I ask this in the name of Jesus. Amen. Hey, thank you for a few moments. If you're discouraged and you're just having a hard time, can I tell you, we'd love to talk to you. Feel free to drop me a line or call the church, or if you have my number, give me a call. We want you to know that we love you. We're here for you. I know sometimes it probably feels like, oh, Pastor Paul's to this or Pastor Paul's to that or Lori's to this or Lori's to that. You are what we're here for, okay? So as important as it is for me to do meetings, and I have meetings, and as important it is to write sermons, and I have a sermon to write every week and Bible studies to prepare for and devotionals to do, yeah, there's a lot of stuff that's going on. Nothing's more important than you. Nothing's more important than you. If you need to talk, you need to pray, feel free to give us a call or find someone in the church that you just really look up to and trust and know will speak truth into your life. We're not here to go through it alone. So part of that holding fast is holding fast together. So we love you. We'll see you tomorrow. We're going to start a new study. So I look forward to that. I'll let you wonder what it's going to be, because if I tell you, then you might not come back. So come back tomorrow and see what we're talking about. Blessings. See you tomorrow.